Hey folks, it's a beautiful sunshiny day out here in Nebraska. We got about 2 inches of snow yesterday. Kelly's on her way to a birthday party at work even though it's her day off. She got to go support her coworkers. So while she's gone, I'm going to invade the kitchen and we're going to can a turkey. If you've never canned a turkey, stick around. We'll show you how to do it. It's not hard. So after the holidays is the best time to get deals on turkeys. And you've probably had a lot of turkey over the holidays and you may be sick of it. But it's the best time to get it and can it, put it away for different parts of the year where you're craving turkey again. So we got a smoking deal on a turkey. One of our local stores had some fresh, thawed out turkeys that they had for people so they didn't have to go to the problem of thawing them all out. But after the holidays, they froze them and they offered them for sale for just $15 a turkey. And it came out to about $1 a pound. So you can't beat that. So let me show you what we got. We got our turkey here. We thawed it back out again because the store refreezes them and then puts them on sale. We've already got our pressure canner out because I did some nice chicken broth with a chicken that we cooked the other day. We had the carcass and made 5 pints of chicken broth with it. So we're going to get this turkey out of the package and we'll start getting it cut up. We've got our turkey legs and our turkey wings. I took the tips off of the wings and put them in our stock pot. So we're going to throw this in our preheated 350 degree oven right now. And we're going to cook it until it looks really nice and golden brown. And then we're going to cover it and continue cooking it covered. You can see we have our giblets and our necks and our bones. We've taken the thighs off as well. And because they are dark meat, I've got them in their own jar because Kelly does not enjoy dark meat. I put a half a teaspoon of my favorite seasoning, the same stuff that I put on the turkey legs and wings. And we've raw packed this into a jar, leaving 1-inch headspace right there at the bottom where this first ring is. So we'll go ahead and throw this in our canner. Now this meat is extremely cold, so cold in fact that it's hurting my fingers. So you don't have to worry about it, sitting around going bad until we get this canner full. And this is a pretty quick process anyway. So we can put the jars directly in the canner when we get them filled. And you don't have to add any liquid. The chicken's going to make its own liquid. And you cut the pieces into about 1.5-inch square pieces, something like that. And just put it in the jar. It kind of packs itself in the jar. And you just make sure your jar is clear on the top. Make sure you wipe the ring. But because we're pressure canning, you don't have to go crazy with sterilization. You don't have to boil the lids. All you got to do is make sure you're using clean stuff. We've got our 2 big turkey breasts peeled off of the carcass. It's really easy. You just cut down either side of the breastbone and just follow those bones down and carve that whole breast out. We've got a couple nuggets off of the back. So now we're going to chop this up and get this in the jars. And this I'm going to break up and put in our stock pot. We've got our turkey meat all cubed up. If you've never had these breaded and fried, you can make little turkey nuggets out of stuff like this. Fantastic. A little difference than chicken nuggets. But as you're cutting this stuff up, anything that doesn't appeal to you, just throw it in here in the stock pot. This is all going to be strained out, so it doesn't matter what you throw in there. I throw the connective tissue, the tendons, the silver skin, all that is in there. Doesn't hurt anything, and it'll all bring a little bit of flavor. So we're going to go down in the pantry and get some more jars, and we'll pack some jars. All right, we come out with 4 good jars of turkey, 1 dark meat, 3 light meat. So I had some other jars up here, so I just filled them up and put them in here in the canner, so the canner's not empty, and it just kind of balances everything out. Nothing can tip over. Now, if you're running your canner anyway, and you don't have a pantry just absolutely full like I do, this would be a good time to can some of your dry beans. So in one of these pint jars, put a half a cup of dry beans in here and then fill it with water up to this bottom ring right here, just below the lid, and then put a lid on it, and then can it at the same time you're doing this. So you're using the energy you're already expending, and you'll have some really good canned beans when you're done. So let's get the lid on this thing. Check the gasket. Gasket looks good. It's still wet from the last batch that we did. All right, turn that. Make sure your vent is open, and then we'll get this thing set. All right, we're already flashing on pressure can. That's kind of the default setting, so we just press that once. We're going to do these pints for 75 minutes. If they were quarts, we would do it for 90 minutes. So there we go. And then we press it again. And it says insert jars, which we've already done. If you cold pack things, you can skip some of these steps. So we'll press it again because we've already inserted jars. Now it's going to warm, which normally warms your jars. If you're doing hot pack, you'd have your jars in there with water in them. And then once the jars are warm, you pull your jars out one at a time, discard the water, and then hot pack your material and then reload the canner. But because we're cold pack, we don't have to go through all that. So the kitchen is filled with the smell of that turkey in the oven. It smells amazing. And then we have everything in our big stock pot for making our stock. Kelly's going to bring us some vegetables home because I used all of the rest that I had last night with the chicken stock. So when she gets here, we'll put this on and we'll simmer this till this evening. And then we'll probably can this evening. It'll look similar to what we got here. This is the chicken stock we did last night. Really nice, rich chicken stock. We use a lot of this for making soups and a lot of dishes that we do. So I never miss an opportunity to make some. And we're probably not going to show you that process because there's a lot of videos on the internet with that. And I think we've already done it in one time. But if you want to see us making stock, boiling the liquid down and canning it, just let us know in the comments and we'll get her done. So once this starts to warm and gets done, we'll press the button again and it'll start to heat. And then once it gets done with the heat cycle, it'll go into the vent cycle. We'll have this top thing closed and then it'll vent out of here for 10 minutes and it'll beep, and then we come close that, press it, and then it goes into the canning mode. If you have never used one of these electronic canners for pressure canning, it's just amazing. You're not tied down in the kitchen all day. Now, could you can the meat from the legs and the wings and all that? Yes, you could, but there's a lot of connective tissue in those parts that you would have to go through and kind of get off of there. And it's kind of a pain, and there's too much meat on them just to throw them in a stock pot. And that's why I go ahead and cook them and we eat them. Because, again, I really enjoy that. But you could do that if you wanted to. Now, after this all cooks down and everything just falls off the bone, we don't waste that either. Like this last night when we made chicken stock, I debone everything. I go through there really well with my fingers, make sure there's no little bones. And then I bag this up for Brandy. She really loves this. There's some carrots and celery in there and some onion and all of that little tiny chicken stuff that comes off the bones. She really enjoys this food. Every time we process an animal, we don't waste anything. This is fantastic dog food for your dog. Brandy eats really good around butchering season because she gets a lot of good dog food right now. She's got chicken food, she's got beef food, and she's got pork food. So she's got kind of a menu. Now, if I had a way to grind all these bones up, you better believe I'd be using that too, because the bone meal would be fantastic for the flowers and the vegetables and everything out in the garden. So if I had a way to do that, not even the bones would be wasted. All right, our canner just entered the heating cycle. We push the button. We've got our countertops and our sink all sanitized again. We've got all of our dishes in the dishwasher. We took all of our dish towels, dish rags, everything that we were using, and put those in the wash. And then I think right now we'll start filling up our stock pot with water while we're waiting. Got all my jars labeled from last night. We just have this roll of these. We use these for all of our canned goods. And they just come out in a roll. Pretty cool. I want to get some of these made with our Mark Kelly Farm logo on them. Now we got a nice surprise in the mail the other day. Kathy Krantz, one of our subscribers, fantastic lady, sent us a real nice Christmas card, Kathy. We really enjoyed that. Love you much. We appreciate you hanging around with us here on our channel. Our Mark Kelly Farm stickers come in the mail today. That's pretty cool. I can put them on stuff here and there. Kelly got home with our veggies. Put whole onion in there, a bag of celery, and a bag of carrots. And we put about the equivalent of about 10 cloves of garlic. And then we added about a tablespoon of salt, a tablespoon of pepper. And then I did 2 tablespoons of Italian seasoning because it's got all the herbs that we need in it, except sage. So I put about a good tablespoon and a half of dry sage in here. So we're going to bring this up to a simmer and just let it simmer all day long. Only 20 minutes left on our turkey. If you've ever had a problem when you're pressure canning that you're losing liquid out of your jar, it's because that you've decreased the pressure in the cooker too quick. Let the cooker come down all on its own. Once it's done, don't open it, don't bleed the pressure off, because if you do, it allows all of that pressure to come out of the cans or the jars, and you'll lose a bunch of your liquid. Our canned turkey just came out of the canner, still boiling a little bit, but that's what she looks like. Fantastic. We also got our wing and our leg out of the oven. I ate one of them for lunch. It was really good. This is all cooled off now. We'll get it into the fridge. I can eat this for another meal or make sandwiches out of it, whatever I want to do. Our stock is boiling, and that'll boil for some time. And like I said, we'll spare you the rest of that. It's pretty much just boiling this down, getting everything to break down, and then straining it and canning it. Super easy. You just put it in a jar, throw it in the canner, put it on 20 minutes for pints. And it doesn't get any easier. So go get you a turkey after the holidays. They're nice and cheap, and it's good food for you. And you can put it away and save it for a rainy day. You can use this turkey for sandwiches. You could have a nice turkey dinner with it. You could make turkey soup with it. Whatever you want to do. It's pre-cooked. You don't have to recook it. If you're going to make sandwiches out of it, you can make turkey salad with it. But just warm it up for a quick meal. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you try it. And I think it'd be a good thing for you to do during the holidays when you can get this stuff cheap. So till next time, stay safe, stay healthy. We love you guys. See you next time on Mark Kelly Farm.